下哦。
Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I am the Arkansas RC newbie, and today we've got the RGT EX86010JK. We are fixing to do a little review for you guys, and right over there we've got an awesome playground that we're fixing to do a little rock crawling. Let's get after it. Alright guys, go ahead and start off with this review. I want everybody to know that there's going to be some plans on the future long-term review and a scoring system with this crawler and then all the other crawlers that we'll be getting over time most likely. So make sure you guys turn notifications on, please. And there's going to be some upgrades and stuff coming up, I'm sure. Alright, let's go and start talking about this crawler. Now I want to talk about the wheels and tire combo. The wheels, I think they look sweet. They're not too modern looking. They don't really go with this JK's body style. They'd probably be a little bit better suited for a CJ, but they do just fine. Now the tires that they're comboed with, man, those tires are so sticky. That's probably my favorite thing about this crawler, is just how soft and how much grip that those tires get. Now let's talk about the servo. The servo is a 15 kg, has a steering radius of 41 degrees. Now something that kind of leaves me wanting more with that servo is it feels like I'm not getting all of the steering potential out of it. I think it's torquey enough whenever you've got a lot of weight bearing down or you're even stuck in between some rocks. The servo does enough to get you out of a sticky situation, but you just don't have the turning radius that I would like. So I don't know if we can maybe do some upgrades in the future with changing some knuckles or something, or maybe a steering arm, but that's something that I'd like to look at pretty soon here. The motor is a 550 brush 17 turn motor. Now that motor is going to run you about 8 to 9 miles an hour, somewhere around there. And the gearing, or the torquiness, is awesome when you're going forward. You're able to climb up stuff and at a really slow pace and just kind of feather the throttle. Now that's comboed with a 14 tooth pinion gear. The problem is whenever you go into reverse, it's like the exact opposite from going forward. Forward you can crawl and creep really slow. Whenever you go in reverse, the problem is it just jumps every single time. It's just very either on or off, it kind of seems like. And I don't know if that's a transmitter issue, but we're going to be talking about the transmitter here in a little bit. Let's talk about the ESC. Did really good as far as not overheating. It is a RGT 60 amp waterproof, and I really don't want to test out the waterproof on this thing. I just want to keep it dry for the most part, hopefully. But it is nice to know you get a little bit of insurance there that it is waterproof. It stayed cool pretty much the whole day. There was no overheating. There's no drag brake adjustment, but the drag brake is not a problem at all. It does a pretty good job of stopping its own body weight. The bumpers are probably a very, I don't know, that's another negative of mine, are the bumpers. Whenever you get over the crawling on things that you have some ground clearance on, it seems like the front and rear bumper, the front bumper is supposed to have like a Stinger style design, and it completely does not work like that. It's just very blocky. You get caught up on so much stuff. Even when you have the proper ground clearance, it's weird, you know, just very blocky. I wish that they would maybe smooth it out a little bit more. And the same goes for the rear bumper. Whenever you clear over something, your rear bumper just starts to grind. So that's probably an upgrade that we're looking at in the future. Very blocky bumpers. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the body. The body of this whole JK crawler is awesome. What I love about it is it doesn't feel cheap, it doesn't look cheap, and for the most part it's all stayed together in one piece. What I like is the fender flares, you have your little hood scoop, all of that stuff is pretty much bolted on. It's not just molded into the body, so I think it will last for quite some time. Now, the crawling, as far as the battery is concerned, we crawled out there for probably a little over an hour. Now, that wasn't constantly crawling. There was a lot of dead time in between and just kind of changing up cameras, but it lasted for a little bit over an hour, and the battery still didn't die. But when we took it home and we put it on the factory charger, it pretty much charged from, like, as if it was dead, right? And the battery is a 7.2 volt, 2000 milliamp battery, and the factory charger has an output of 9 volts at 500 milliamps, and it took, I mean, right at 4 hours, so it was pretty much dead, but it didn't die on me out there, and that was, again, about a little bit of over an hour of crawling. Now let's kind of go back to that transmitter. It does come pre-wired with the front and rear tail light and bumper lights on the third channel. And you have that switch on the grip, which is pretty neat. And you can see on my bumper, one of my bumper lights is out. I guess during crawling, one of the wires had gotten pulled out, and I think it was because the tire had maybe hit it. I'm not too sure, but I'm gonna have to get that fixed. The problem with the transmitter, the fourth channel is supposed to be a winch where you can power on and off and you can retract the winch. The problem, we're gonna have to give you guys an update on this, is the damn button is glued. It's not a switch on the fourth channel. It's just glued there. So I pulled it out and it's like, oh my gosh, man, it's crazy. Yeah, it's like a dummy plug. So that kind of drove me nuts a little bit, but for the most part, the crawler did its job out there. I had a blast with it, and it's just, you know, I am an Arkansas newbie. I'm definitely new at this, but I think this thing has a lot of potential, and we're gonna take this channel and we're gonna see where this thing goes. But I'm just very impressed with the JK out there. For the most part, it being, you know, a little under $300, I think it's a great starter crawler for me so far. But you know, I keep on saying we're going to be looking at some different crawlers down the road and some upgrades, and we'll kind of see how this thing compares to other ones, and especially whenever we start up doing that scoring system, that's going to be a big deal too. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, man, if you guys enjoyed that review, please give a thumbs up, and let's go ahead and hit that outro.
I tell you what, from out of the box stock, that can't be bad.
That can't be bad. GoPro, stop recording. Alright guys, well there you have it. That was the review from a newbie standpoint on the RGT, man. Had a very good time out here. Please hit that like button, please subscribe, and turn the notifications on so you guys don't miss what we got coming up. But it's going to be a very fun ride, and guys, we will see you on the next one.